That way,
Just want to make sure I hit all the appropriate buttons before we get started.
that sounds good.
Renee, I'm going to make you a co-host in case, I pass out,
Great.
In case lightning hits.
Hope I'll know what to do.
I have a feeling you will.
Not your first rodeo with this.
I think at any point, anybody could do this after all this time with Zoom.
Hey,
Hi,
Steve.
Steve. Hey, Brooklyn. Yeah, we're just waiting a minute here for Lily, so we have a quorum.
Okay. I'm gonna flip my overhead light on so I don't look like I'm a ghost.
Yes, you were looking a
So that
little
might be
pale.
worse, who knows?
Looks lovely.
I think I look better this way, blank screen.
I think we've got your best side, huh?
There is no such thing.
Oh, hardly.
Not seeing her. I resent her the link, so hopefully she
Yeah,
received.
Are both Justin and Dan missing this week or?
Yep, just the girls.
the ladies,
Ladies, yes.
the guys are on vacation, I guess. Yeah.
Who needs a tropical location when you can do a village board meeting?
Who needs the beach and a palm tree?
It would have been cruel punishment if he like did a Zoom from like the beach with a little umbrella and a drink and.
Right.
With the tropical shirt.
Mm.
Yep.
Do we want me to try to reach out to Lily to see
I
if
know.
she's
I'm
okay?
wondering, yeah, maybe she's having a little bit of a problem getting on, perhaps.
I don't
We
see
see
her.
if Lily might, oh no,
She's-
she's not in the, we don't know
Yeah,
who
I've been
that
checking
phone
the
number is.
attendees because she's been
The-
coming in through the attendee
If
link.
she's in the participants accidentally.
Yeah, no, she's not. And she's not in the regular link. I'm just gonna mute and go off camera and see if I
You're
can
on
find
mute,
Lily.
Dorothea.
Okay, thank you.
They're dropping like flies.
Hi, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Dorothea's just getting a hold of Lily, just so we have a quorum to open. Okay, Dorothea's off the phone with Lily, so maybe we'll get her in the meeting.
Okay, I'm back. I spoke to Lily. She is trying to get in. She's having a problem with getting in with the link through her husband's computer. So she's going to come in through the attendees. She
Okay.
has to reboot
Okay.
and do some things. So it'll be a couple minutes.
Okay,
So we have a little bit of pause in the action.
Okay. What action?
I don't know.
this is it.
Dorothea, I think I told you were on mute earlier, but actually my speaker was unplugged. So I don't think you were on mute. I think I couldn't hear you.
Most people would think that was a blessing.
So there's some action.
There
I
you
got
go.
to fix my speaker. Very exciting.
Thanks for the update. Oh, golly.
All right. Go Lily. Yeah, we'll have to smooth that process out for her so she can get in. Well, hopefully we won't have to do that too much longer.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
we
there
should-
she is.
Okay.
Great, let me get her. There she is.
All right. Hi,
Looks like
Lily. There she is. Okay. Oh, we'll give her a minute here. She's getting set up. You good?
Good.
Okay.
All right. All right, let me get, and we are recording. Okay,
We're still recording. Okay. I make a motion to open the meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
all right. Trustee Lampier,
Lampier, aye.
trustee Stetser,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passes.
Okay. Are there any conflicts of interest or disclosures regarding any of the agenda items before us this evening?
Lampier, I do not.
Stetser does not.
Oh, Plummer, I do not. I was waiting for two other people.
Go quick.
I know, I know. Okay, so Dorothea, would you read the open meeting compliance certification, please?
Sure. All right, I have my sheet, so I'm prepared tonight. The public will have opportunities to comment on specific agenda items when they occur in the meeting and also on general matters at the end of the meeting. Speakers can comment once in each comment window. If it is on a specific agenda item, it is not a debate, a disposition, or a panel discussion. If an attendee is participating via web conference technology such as Zoom, the clerk will announce how attendees should signal that they wish to comment. This may differ by platform, but typically accomplished through the raise your hand feature, which is the feature we are using tonight. So please raise your hand if you wish to speak. And also I will take questions in the Q&A for the board. I do not pay attention to chat. So if you post something in chat, I will most likely miss it. Okay, speakers must give their name, address, organization. There shall be an exemption for any category of people protected by New York State law. Speakers must be recognized by the presiding officer. Speakers must limit their remarks to 3 minutes on any given topic. Speakers may not yield any remaining time they may have to another speaker. Board members may, with the permission of the mayor, only interrupt a speaker during their remarks for the purpose of clarification or information. Speakers must observe commonly accepted rules of courtesy, decorum, dignity, and good taste. Interested parties or their representatives may address the board by written communications to villageclerk@villagepittsburgh.com. All written communications will become part of the public record and will be attached to the minutes for the meeting. At the center's request, written communications will be read aloud by the clerk at the meeting and will adhere to the 3-minute time limit. If printed materials or other media are provided by attendees during the meeting, they must be submitted to the village board with optional distribution to audience members. All materials must be part of the public record. Private distribution of materials to audience members only is prohibited. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Let's start with our department reports this evening. Jeff, did you have an attorney's report or any updates?
I have an update on the Parkland DPW property. Scott and I continue to be delving into what we've got there in terms of total acreage. The village staff found the abstract, which was, I think, a great thing. I was surprised that we had one. I recommend getting the abstract redated so we know exactly what has come out of it since we got the property, which was in 1937, by the way.
Wow.
So I'm guessing the cost of the redate is going to be somewhere between $200 and $400. And it's something that really ought to be done to get an accurate survey of what we've got. Meanwhile, Scott continues to work to try to tie down exactly what property is out there. I think his next step is going to be comparing the legal description on a 1984 map with the description of what came in 1937, and also going to be looking at some county mapping to see what he can find. But all that's essential to find out what we've got left for the DPW to operate on. So I guess I'd like the board's permission to redate that abstract.
I think that's a great idea. And the process you just described is the process of redating. Am I correct? Or
No.
not? Okay, so
No.
can we hear what that process would be, just so?
Yeah, formal redate is you send the abstract that Dorothea and the staff found,
Okay.
and you send that down to a title company
Ah,
who runs it out from the last time it was redated to see what's going on
okay,
with the title.
all right. And roughly, how long does that process take? Is there sort of a general?
You mean to get the abstract redated? Yeah,
Get-
Probably a couple of weeks to get the
Okay.
redated abstract.
Oh, all right, okay.
Jeff, the legal description from 1984, how will that affect the abstract from 1937? Or is that part of the process of redating the abstract?
So the abstract contains the legal description from 1937. What the abstract does, or redating the abstract, you've all purchased houses. Whenever you purchased a house, the abstract was redated. So they could take a snapshot of what happened with the title to that property between the time it was last redated and you're buying it. It's a title check. The other thing that the reason we're doing it in this case is it would show any easements or other deeds that have gone off that property. I don't think there've been any other deeds, but we'd certainly like to know if there are any other easements.
Okay. Oh, thanks. That's helpful. Thank you.
So what would happen if we learn that we're, using it differently than what is described in that abstract? What would be our next step? Like,
Oh, no, it's not a question of using anything differently.
okay,
Once you get the, we're just making sure we know what we have
gotcha. Okay,
acreage wise.
okay,
Because we've got the 10 acres that have been allotted to the parkland. So we have to know what's left to deal with the DPW.
okay,
And in order to figure out how that 10 acres could best be allocated and allotted on the ground, it's good to know what's on the ground in relationship to the property lines. If that
Okay.
makes any sense.
it does.
That was helpful. Thank you. Anything else to add, Jeff, on your report?
Nope, I would like the authorization to do the abstract redate.
There's,
Can we, Steve has his hand up.
oh, Steve, okay, I'm sorry, okay. Yep,
Yeah,
Steve?
I'm just curious in this whole process. I know the original decree or whatever was for 10 acres. Are we going to do a study to find out what is necessary to actually utilize for the DPW? Say we come up with far less than what was originally, or thought of. is it going to be looked at and say, wait a minute, the DPW actually needs 3 acres, you know what I mean, in order to survive, equipment wise, whatever. And if we only had 11 and a half total, are we going to adjust back to say that the Arboretum would get 8.5 versus 10? Can we do that? Or does that have to go through the state legislature?
So we're not there yet. We need to know what we have before we decide what the possibilities are. It's premature to even to try to figure out, what we have, or, what we could do until we know what we have.
Gotcha. That was the question. I think Steve asked it better than I did. I was wondering if we find out that we have less land there, but we're getting ahead.
Yeah, I would wait till we
ahead.
know. I would wait
Okay.
until we know for sure what we have.
Okay.
Right,
great.
and then try and figure out what the DPW needs to operate and
That's
go from there.
certainly not up to me.
Yeah, and so really the last sort of survey or snapshot was almost 40 years ago. So it's where are we now, I guess. Okay,
And we want to be sure that we trust that survey
okay,
it's actually, 40 years. Want to trust that survey from 40 years ago. The thing we know we have is the deed in 1937. And we want to be comfortable that we know what we have that's left from the deed in. If that makes any sense.
Yep.
okay.
And then then the board can plan what they want to do.
Okay, so let's see, the motion would be, I make a motion to direct our attorney to pursue redating the title,
Abstract.
abstract, I'm sorry, the abstract.
Do we have to
to-
say from 1937 or does it matter? Is there only
No.
one abstract?
The
Okay,
abstract of the property.
The abstract of the property. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, trustee Stetser,
Aye.
trustee Lampier,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Jeff, for the update. Okay, next up, the treasurer's report, please.
Brooklyn, you're gonna go ahead and
I am.
present?
Yes, I
Okay.
There-
am
there he
actually.
is.
There you are.
Hello, hello,
Hi, Brooklyn.
hello.
Brooklyn.
Good evening, everyone. Just really quick, I did see your email, Renee. I actually think I sent out the Osborne bills twice. So I can get you those Zoglin bills in the morning. I accidentally sent those bills
That's
twice.
okay. And my apologies. I must have, I mean, I knew they were in my email somewhere. So thank you for sending
No,
them
no
again.
problem. Thank you. No problem. So we do have a pretty basic bill pay. I know there's one thing I know Dorothea wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. It was for the HSA funding for Kristen, our new deputy clerk. That is the one thing we really just wanted to bring to everyone's attention. We're going to prorate her for 5 months at $208.33 per month. So that takes care of her. And other than that, everything was pretty normal. Are there any questions about any of the bill pays?
I have a quick question about the items number 498 through 503 for the referendum. I just didn't
Yes.
understand those.
That is us paying,
That the election cost?
yes,
the
that is our
election.
election cost.
Yeah.
So we're
It's our
we're paying
election
our officials.
inspectors.
Yeah,
Inspectors, okay, they had specific names, so I didn't understand that. So, okay,
Right.
thank you.
yeah, real blank.
Okay. Anything else? Oh, yes, Lily?
Thank you. I did not see the bill from the Zoglin Group this time. So I have a question regarding the separate bill for the LWRP. It's item number 494 for 156. So I'm
Yes,
going
that
to,
w- Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
going to
go ahead,
assume
Lily.
that Justin has approved this invoice. Justin Villistra.
That'd be Susan, right, if it's for the LWRP?
That,
Yes.
yep, that was.
It would be Susan.
Because I did not see that billing.
No problem. I haven't heard back from Susan. Like I said, I've
Okay,
been
good.
sending these out this week, but we can
Hold on
put
that
these on
one.
hold. Yep, put that one on hold. And once I have an approval from Susan, I'll forward that email to everyone
Okay.
and
All
and
right,
we can
thank
release
you.
that check.
And she has already approved 494, which, I mean, the 49, was it 4, that's all part of it, 494. So I'm gonna say it was part of 75 Monroe. Has she approved that, the other part of it?
I have no approvals from Susan, but all
Okay,
will
that's
be
what I'm
pending
checking, because
her
I didn't,
approval.
okay, usually I'll reach out to her and I hadn't heard back, so I'd like to wait on that until we get her approval.
Sure.
I'm looking that over. I think the board might want to be aware, just generally speaking, of what our payments, attorney law bills have been over the past few months vis-a-vis 75 Monroe, as we move into the budget, to be aware of what we've been spending monthly. And that as we're on target as to what we have put aside on that
What we
line.
budgeted, yeah. It's a good idea, Lily.
Okay, that was it. Welcome, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve. the
Can we,
vouchers as presented.
except for
494.
494?
Yeah,
Sorry,
but
for
whoever wants to make the motion.
I will make a motion to
Yeah.
approve the vouchers, except for number 494 to the Zoglin Group.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Trustee Stetser,
Aye.
trustee Lampier,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passed.
Okay. Brooklyn, anything else tonight?
That is it from me.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
so
that's about
much.
it for me. No problem.
Okay, Dorothea, the village clerk
Yes.
report.
I included in the packet correspondence we received from Monroe County. We received our fourth quarter payment, which was $172,264.62, which was above what we estimated. In this line, we are almost completely, all the revenues anticipated have almost been completely received. We're anticipating another $5,000 from our next check to finish out the year. I do anticipate that will be more than $5,000. So we're well on track with the sales tax as we have been projecting and we discussed last meeting. So I just wanted to bring this to the board because I hadn't had this information until after the meeting. Okay. Any questions, concerns?
No concern when we have more sales tax than we thought we were going to get.
No, that's a good thing. I think we're tracking well and I will be talking to them to see what the projections for our next budget year will look like.
Okay.
Okay, and then in addition, I did present the board with budget transfers from where we were with the report I gave last meeting for the December 31st. Is there any questions or concerns? The first amount are for general items. And then the others are for labor items to disperse it appropriately.
Are there any questions from the board? I'll entertain a motion. To approve the budget transfers.
So moved. Lampier.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Sorry. Trustee Lampier,
Lampier, aye.
trustee Stetser,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Aye.
motion passes. Okay, next is integrated service agreement. This is our IT professionals that have been servicing us for many years. We met with them, it seems like a week ago, but I think it was Tuesday, and they
It was
reviewed.
Tuesday.
It was Tuesday. Our current contract, we are down to less than 4 hours and we probably already used it this week with an issue. So what I do need to do is get a current contract with them. I request that the board go with the contract C. That is typically what we have done. It usually lasts us about 1.5 years to cover our needs for IT. Is there any questions or concerns?
So
And-
is
and
this, oh, go ahead, Mayor Plummer.
No, I was just going to say, I might understand, was there any increase in the contract?
This time there was. This is the first time they've had an increase. I believe he said in like 12 years.
Yeah.
It was a very minor one, but they had to increase their cost.
Okay, as everybody I think has been doing. Yes, Renee?
So we don't need to include, this is for the next year's budget, but it's not
It's not,
significantly
it's
more.
for this year.
Okay,
We could use it all this year, but 50 hours really has taken us at least a year and a half, so it will cover. But, we always anticipate we're gonna have additional costs for this, so when we don't use it, it's savings. So buying in a bundle instead of buying 10 hours or 25 hours saves us some money. And anytime we can save a little money, we try to do that, and 50 seems to be a nice number for us to work off of.
And so we can just carry it forward.
Yeah.
from this- Yeah,
The hours never expire,
Okay.
so he said if we needed, he'd wash windows too. So,
okay. Is there a motion to approve oh, yes, Jeff?
you're muted.
Up there.
As I say, every time we look at these contracts, there's no way any attorney could ever recommend that you sign this deal, but because of the damages are skewed so far in their favor, that it's just reprehensible. But I understand that there's probably no change in the contract. If you're going to do business with anybody, it's probably this way. So I'm just going on record saying that the damages provisions are ridiculous.
Agreed. Yeah, no, thank you for that. And I know it's just been renewed every year, but there has, and Dorothea, maybe you could fill us in, there's never been an incident where any
Yeah.
of those particular components of the contract have been utilized.
No, they've worked very well with us, and it's very limited what they're doing. And to be honest, they host everything for us, so they're very careful because they know they'll have to do the work to repair it. So I think we're okay. I understand what Jeff is saying, and
Mhm.
every contract we get kind of skews that way towards the party involved.
Okay. Thank you to both of you. Any other questions from the board, or is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the integrated systems services agreement.
Is there a second?
Lanfear, second.
Roll call, trustee Stetser,
Aye.
trustee Lampier,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. And I have one other item for the board, and I apologize for not sending this to you. Where did I put it? I had a resident stop in from 25 North Main. Actually, she called us. She was highly concerned about her sewer bill, which she received, which was $881.13, which is well above her normal bills for this time period, which averaged between 154 to 121, depending on what our rate was in the usage. She had a water bill, a water pipe burst. She did present us with, in the past, the board has been kind to let us go back and bill them what their average for that normal period would be, and to waive it for one time, as long as they had the repairs done to correct the problem. She did present me with a bill, her bill from her plumber for doing the repair. So I'm requesting that the board allow me to adjust her bill down to an average of what she would pay for that quarter and waive any late fees involved.
So moved. Lanfear.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, trustee Lampier,
Lanfear, aye.
trustee Stetser,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you so much. She'll be very happy to hear that.
Yeah, I would be too. Glad the problem's resolved. Anything else, Dorothea?
Not under the clerk's report.
Okay, then we'll move into meeting items, and the first item up is just the follow-up on our cannabis referendum. Our village clerk ran that election quite nicely, thank you. And I know you have just a sort of a follow-up of
Sure.
closing it out.
Yes, in just the final certification, which I'll get posted to the website on the proposal one, we did have we had 4 affidavit votes that was received. I am not accepting one of the affidavit votes. I did accept the other 3. We did not receive any further absentee votes since the election. So the final numbers for proposal 1, which was, let's see, 100 yes, 144 no. Proposal 2, 77 yes, 167 no. So a total vote count of 244 people. And the initial decision that we issued is the same. Both proposals did not pass. Is there any questions from the board on that?
Okay.
And that's all I have on that.
Okay, thank you. Next up, item number 2 is an RG&E update. I'll just kick that off quickly. Dorothea was in the meeting as well. Or Dorothea, were you not in that meeting?
No, that was Zach.
It's one of the few meetings you weren't in. So
Did
it
not
was,
attend.
it was our superintendent of the DPW and was in the meeting along with me. And we met with 2 representatives from RG&E. I just would like to give a thank you to Supervisor Smith, who facilitated the contact with RG&E at a higher level. So anybody watching here tonight or anybody seeing this video should notice that there are trucks repairing our streetlights that have been out for many, many months throughout the village. They have been on this diligently, really since the meeting. And what we're glad to hear is that we now have sort of permanent contacts with RG&E where we can reach out on a regular basis regarding streetlight outages, the tree trimming issues that clearly we've all been concerned about. They're willing to provide us with schedules for any trimming that's going to be done, and just be, I would say, sort of more proactive. That was the language that they used moving forward, working with our village and other municipalities. So I'm pleased for that. We did also put them in touch with a couple residents that really had some concerns over tree trimming on their properties, and they have reached out and already been responding. So I'm glad for that. They also mentioned, because we do have older historic streetlights, they do have a difficult time getting some of the parts to be able to properly repair those lights and restore them with historic accuracy. So we discussed a couple options with them, and they're looking into possibly other ways of sourcing parts. So that's been a little bit of an issue, I think, repairing some of those our older streetlights. For example, the one on Monroe Avenue that was hit. Yeah, Renee, I figured that's why your hand was up. They did take that pole down. I think they did that last week or maybe the week before, and because it really was a hazard, and they are actively trying to source, the proper replacement for that light. So yes, Lily.
If I could be wrong on this, but if memory serves, we have 1 or 2 of those. I don't know where they're kept, but I do believe we have.
I believe, I'm not so sure that we do. Zach was in that meeting and he had expressed the same concerns as RG&E so I'm not so sure that DPW has them or they have already been used in another capacity. Yeah, I know.
All
Would have
right.
been- Yeah, it would have been nice, but I think it's, it's an ongoing concern.
Don't they have those somewhere in one of the neighborhoods in Brighton?
Yeah, we are between our village and Brighton. We're sort of the 2 communities that really kind of have these ongoing issues. And Brighton right now is trying to source a number of streetlights as well. That came up actually at the meeting. Yeah,
Okay.
but they're
So
really
they're
trying to
good.
work on it. I'm glad that we do have, face-to-face, people that we can actually speak with, which is great. So hopefully things will be improving and we'll be moving forward and have our streets lit properly. Yep. And that anything else to add, Dorothea? Was there anything you wanted to add to that? You weren't in the meeting. If there's any other thoughts, okay. Okay, moving on. Awarding of the 2022 flower bid. This was put out to bid as it is every year. It was put out to bid with 3 different companies, and Bunches responded as they did in prior years. And you have the contract before you. I do want to say a couple things here. We left out the planting of the urns and the window boxes in this particular bid. DPW said that they can help plant the urns and the window boxes. One, because Lily, you're aware that we're trying to find a 4th urn or trying to figure out, about just getting all the urns, sort of back in shape. Sophie informed me that the window boxes for Village Hall need to be replaced, so we're kind of looking at that. And we didn't want to tie up everything, waiting on, possibly urns, while Bunches was trying to plant all the rest of the hanging planters. So we'll be taking care of that. The other piece of this, though, is we are going to have a significant construction starting with NICEDOT on our sidewalks at the four corners and down State Street. And also, as we know, on North Main Street, the bridge is going to be done. The contract was just awarded a couple of days ago to the contractor. And so something will be starting around March 8th, coming up in the village. We're not sure where they're starting initially. Once we find that out, we'll certainly post that on Facebook and on our website. But some of the sidewalks are going to be torn up. So we're not sure the timing of when we maybe can put those urns out, depending on when the sidewalks are being torn up. So we'll keep you posted. And that's another reason why we left the planting of those urns out of that contract, because we just didn't know what that time frame was going to be. So any questions on the contract? Yes, Lily.
Thank you. Yes, I noted, and I know everything is more expensive, that this year the bid was for over 6,000. Previous years, it's been about 4,600, and that included the urns and the window boxes and a super pot down on Shane's Alley. This bid does not include that, but I did note that the bid was put out for 120 baskets, and previously we've done between 90 and 100. So I'm wondering why the uptick in the number of baskets.
I think it's because the baskets, we didn't have baskets coming down to the North Main Bridge. We still could take those out. But we were thinking, we would run the baskets on the other side all the way down to the North Main Street Bridge. Because I believe in years past, at some point, there were baskets down that far. But that's, we can certainly talk about that if you don't want them in. That's fine.
I'm looking at it from a cost perspective, and we're a little bit at a handicap here because we don't have all of our budget figures in. Typically, we'll look at it and say, we've got to make cuts somewhere. And a lot of times, this is one place where we're a little bit more conservative if something has to go. I'm just looking at the cost, and it's hard to say at this point, when that we haven't gone over the budget yet, to say, can we handle the 6,000 in addition to replacement of the pot, which is probably going to be in the $3,000 neighborhood, and their plantings. It's a little difficult. I mean, I feel a little bit hesitant about it, but we're between a rock and a hard place because I know that these have probably been planted by now.
So we're looking
in May.
So we're looking at roughly maybe another 800 or 900 on the baskets. And depending if we do get that urn or however that works out. So we're looking at possibly of 3,200, 3,500, something like that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And Renee, you had your hand up.
I was going to ask what our deadline was for this, but I think Lily answered it at the end. It seems like we need to let them know before our next meeting. Is that correct?
I say that's fair assessment.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Right. And Dorothea, I know we certainly have been working on internal numbers, for the budget. So we're looking at roughly a $3,500 variance potentially.
I'm looking at the numbers, and the numbers I'm prepared to give to the board next Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
Matter of fact, I'll be, hopefully, if everything goes my way and the day stays quiet, you guys will be receiving budget information in preparation for that meeting. I don't see a problem with funding this. I think we'll be fine. After the initial shift, it should be fine. I don't foresee an issue.
Okay, no, that's good, because I know you and Brooklyn have been really working with those
Yes,
numbers.
we have.
So you might have a much better handle. Yes, Renee?
So if we took it down to Lily's point about the more conservative number, just to be safe, since we haven't gone through our meetings yet to have the discussion. And Lily, what did you just say? Normally we have 100 baskets. If we
Yes.
took it down, do we have time to ask them to give us a bid for 100 baskets instead, if we wanted to be more conservative? To get it down to what we spent last year?
I don't think you're
Or-
gonna get it down to last year's numbers.
Okay.
I think
I mean, they've had to increase their costs,
Right.
we've
As a
seen that
vendor.
across the board.
yeah.
We could place the order and say instead of the 100, 120, we request 100. And just change it that way, if that's what the board chooses.
Okay, because I think what we're looking at when we're adding baskets, we're adding not only the plantings, we have to purchase the baskets, the chains and the liners.
'Cause we don't
not-
have them yet. How many of those do we have?
Because
90,
yeah, we have to replace what were damaged from last time.
right.
Mhm.
And then plus buy new additional, which we do not currently own. As fond I am of the concept of extending them all the way down to the dairy, the expense, without having discussed it with the entire board, and you remember this process, Renee, when we're looking at things to cut here and cut there, I mean, we're literally sometimes looking at $200 here and $300 there. So I'm just putting it out there for discussion, whatever the board thinks.
No, if that's
Well,
how you
there are
want to
only
move
3 of
forward,
us.
I'm fine with that, absolutely.
I would prefer to go a little conservative, given that we haven't had the discussions, if we have to make a decision tonight.
Okay, I would agree with that. I would feel comfortable given the fact that we don't know what the situation is with the urns. And as I said, are we not doing a super pot down in Shane's Alley? Was that eliminated from the bid? I didn't see that on there.
I don't know why they didn't put that in. Oh, you know what? No, we're gonna plant
Says no.
super pots. The DPW is gonna plant that.
Oh, they're gonna plant that
Yeah,
themselves.
they're gonna do the big pots. That's what they said they
Okay,
would.
I see.
Yeah, sorry.
But we still have to buy plants.
Yep,
Okay.
Sorry, Lily, are you done? I had one more question for Mayor Plummer.
yeah, yes, go ahead.
Oh, okay. You said, since the North Main Street Bridge will be under construction, maybe we don't actually need them there anyway this year because it's going to be such a mess there.
Yeah, so why don't we just, what did you say? We typically go with 100, was it?
100.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion? That we,
But we don't have a bid for that, do we? So
well, no,
we have to
you
go
have
back
it
to
in
them.
front of you,
No,
so.
but I mean, the total cost, are we just
We'll
saying? 100?
reduce it with him and let him
Okay, that's what I
understand.
meant, because we
Yeah.
can't approve the current, what's in front of us. We're approving
But we're-
100,
You're
we're gonna
approving the
approve 100.
bid based on a
100.
reduction to 100 pots.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve the bid with the reduction to 100 hanging baskets.
I will second that.
Okay,
Okay, roll call, trustee Stetser,
Aye.
trustee Lampier,
Lanfear, aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Plummer, aye.
Motion passes.
Okay. Let the flowers bloom. Next up, setting the public hearing for the best value law.
Do we just need a motion for that after we know what
Oh, we need
date is
dates.
possible?
We need dates.
I included the notice of public hearing within the packet. That meeting would be March 24th, and I have it in the legal notice to go both ways if we decide to be virtual or if we're in person, as we've been doing in those situations where we didn't know if we were going to be in the village hall or on our little screen here. So it would be March 24th, 2022 at 7 p.m. The board is good to move forward.
Okay. I'll make a motion to schedule to set the public hearing for the best value bidding procedure, local law, for March 24th, 2022, sorry.
Two
I lost.
thumbs.
Yeah, I lost 2 years there.
Yeah, I will second.
Okay, roll
Okay.
call, please.
Trustee Lampier,
Lanfear, aye.
trustee Stetser,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer.
Plummer, aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Okay. Next up, the New York State legislation that is related to ADUs, known as accessory dwelling units, and home rule. And you should have gotten some information. It was kind of a fast and furious sort of proposal, and I think most of you know by now that there was very consistent and vigorous feedback from municipalities across New York State regarding how the law was written and the effect it would have in terms of each municipality being able to utilize home rule. And so you have two documents. One was the memorandum in opposition that NICOM issued, and also the follow-up, actually, the document where the governor has, at this point, removed the law from the budget. I think we all understand, and have interest in affordable housing and ADUs and all of that, but I think the feedback that I got, certainly from the mayors in Monroe County and certainly from supervisors as well that I spoke with, is that the law was really poorly written and would have a disastrous effect on municipalities. So just wanted to kind of bring you up to date. Dorothea, do you have a copy of the letter from the mayors?
Yep. I
Village?
can
Yeah.
Pull that up. Give me a second.
Yeah, just so people, this just sort of came in. This was put together by, the Monroe County Association of Villages. Maybe if you can, just so you see, and this was drafted actually after the law was taken out of the proposed budget. But it really was just, we all felt that there was a need to express our concerns about, in the future, about maintaining the integrity of home rule. And we certainly can post that as well. I mean, as I said, this just really just came in, so give everybody a minute just to take a look.
Can everybody read it okay, or do you need me to read it?
Yeah, maybe you should read it just in case, people can't see it. Thank you.
I think Lily had a question first, though.
Oh, Lily, yes.
I did. Had I been reading, however, that it was being recrafted and maybe being placed in another location other than the budget, that it was not being eliminated totally, that they were just finding another vehicle?
Oh, I don't think it is eliminated totally. Yeah, and I don't know that it's quote being, put in another place per se. I don't have that up-to-date information. I do know that it is certainly being revisited and recrafted, but I think, we have to be vigilant in terms of certainly what this letter is expressing, and also just the financial ramifications for municipalities having to administer this when it's by state mandate. Again, it certainly goes to the heart, I think, of home rule and how we oversee our land use in our municipality. So Dorothea, yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because it isn't going away. So this is, again, this is just an update of where it is right now. So thanks for bringing that up. Dorothea, do you just want to read the letter, quickly so people hear it? Yeah.
It's addressed to Dear Assemblyman Hawley. The Monroe County Association of Villages is pleased Governor Hochul has listened to elected officials statewide and retracted from the executive budget her proposal that would have required all villages, towns, and cities to permit accessory dwelling units, ADUs, on all residential properties. This one-size-fits-all proposal would have stripped away home rule authority for determination of land use planning and disregard the unique needs of each of our villages. While the goal of creating affordable housing is admirable and necessary, then the Monroe County Association of Villages remains concerned that the future proposals would again attempt to limit home rule authority and create hardships for local municipalities. It is important for new legislation to consider impacts to utilities, infrastructure, demands on code enforcement, and allow for control of parking requirements and setbacks, and aid municipalities to address them. Additional costs and expenditures resulting from a statewide mandate should not create an undue burden on taxpayers. Local leadership is best positioned to address these concerns. We respectfully ask that you continue to fight for the rights of municipalities to home rule regarding land use, and to encourage the state to work in partnership with our villages to provide affordable housing while maintaining the character of a vibrant village. Sincerely, Mayor John Hartman.
And so this letter is a template, for any of our villages to use going forward to reach out to our elected officials in Albany And as I said, we'll remain vigilant and really stay current on this. And you can see what was in your package. The response from NICOM was pretty detailed, and they were pretty aggressive in their response, and we support that. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Budget meeting update.
Correct. We have our first budget meeting on Monday. I do apologize. I was hoping to get the schedule together, but I believe the board agreed to meet on Mondays at 5 PM. So I would anticipate outside of a meeting, I believe the third week of March, that is a meeting for HPB. So we might look at rescheduling that if needed, but I'll get that schedule out to the board and get it posted for everybody to see.
Okay. So we'll start in on Monday. Thank you. And the item number 7, approval for the mayor to attend the Canal Society Winter Symposium.
So moved.
Is there-
I'll second.
Okay.
I was waiting for
Danielle.
someone else, but I guess there are only 3
Yeah,
of us.
it's pretty narrowed
No,
down
it's-
tonight.
This is really going quick. Trustee Stetser,
Aye.
trustee Lampier,
Aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Can I vote on that for me?
you have to.
I have
Yes, you
to.
can.
I guess I do.
Yeah.
Aye. I think it'll be a good symposium. The director of the Canal Corporation, Brian Stratton, is going to be speaking, as well as the regional engineer who is currently overseeing the remediation on the embankment right here on Shane Place. So I think it's an opportunity to kind of hear and get direct information about what's going on. So thank you. Okay, member items. Oh, yes, Jeff.
Just clarification on whether or not you should or could have voted. You're not benefiting from this at all. I mean, it's not a direct financial benefit,
That's true.
so I don't think it's a real concern. You're just talking about using village resources.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Well, I'm benefiting and hopefully bringing back good information for our village. Okay, next up, member items. Anybody have anything this evening? Yep, Lily?
When we
Yeah.
get to the end, I guess my member item is that as pleased as I am to see people attending in virtually, I hope that they will not hesitate and be proactive in joining us when we're back in Village Hall. And I look forward to seeing their faces once again and hear their voices. And a reminder at the end of this meeting, when we're done with their member items, anyone who's here virtually this evening, and if you have anything, just general comments, they're welcome at the end, and we'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lily. That's a good one. Renee?
You already mentioned the schedule for NISDOT doing the resurfacing and some of the projects. And you said they're going to be starting on some of that work on March 8th. So I was going to mention that, but you already did, and you actually have a date where they're going to start. So we don't totally know. There's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be messy. So as soon as we get the schedule, we'll get that up on the website and do an update probably every meeting, because there's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, there already has been a lot going on, between streetlight repair and, the utility poles. And now, once the weather warms up, they'll start in on resurfacing and paving and sidewalks and
And finishing those 2 pedestrian areas that they had
Yeah.
to fill in with asphalt. Hopefully they get some concrete
Yeah.
and can finish soon, once it warms up.
From what
Right,
I
Ruby?
understand- From what I understand, they have a line on concrete. So, yes, Lily.
Yes, thank you. Speaking of that, when you were talking about the paving, that reminded me, I'd like to thank village resident Art Pierce for reaching out and getting some attention brought to our pothole situations, particularly along Route 31 throughout the village. Because we had some really, in one way, we're kind of glad because it slows traffic. However,
That's
it
one
also
way to
takes your
calm
tires
traffic.
out.
Yeah.
So that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So I thank him very much for bringing attention, and we did get some attention to get some of those potholes addressed, which was positive.
That's great.
Yeah, I
Thank
love
you.
seeing the brick under there. I wish they'd go back to it. We talk about this every year when those
I know.
potholes show the original brick from our streets. It would be a lot slower around here.
It would definitely calm traffic. Having lived in Boston, I can tell you it calms traffic. Okay, any other member items? Okay, anything else?
Were we gonna talk about in the packet, there was the COVID update or the masking policy? Do we need to do any, or was that from,
That's,
That was
I
the
think that's
previous.
through March 1st, I think.
okay,
Yeah.
we don't
in
have
March
to do
1st,
any
we were gonna
updates on
revisit
that?
it.
Okay,
It's really still, I think we're watching the numbers and, the
Okay.
board was intent to wait till March 1st to see where we were. I mean, you're here. I don't know if we feel any different, or how the board feels at this point of moving forward with any changes.
yes, you're correct. At the last meeting, we said we'd revisit it after February break and after the numbers go down. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and what's good, the numbers are going down, so, as Lily said, it'd be nice to be able to see people in person and have meetings in person, yep. Okay, anything else this evening? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Did
Mayor
we-
Plummer,
Oh,
did you want to open up to public
To the-
comment?
oh, yes, of course, that's why I said anything else, public comment, of course, yes.
I got nothing.
Okay. All right. I'll entertain a motion. to
I'll make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Lanfear, second.
Roll call?
Trustee Stetser,
Aye.
trustee Lampier,
Lanfear, aye.
Mayor Plummer,
Plummer, aye.
motion passes. Ladies, we did it in an hour.
Oh, my goodness. The shortest
Yes,
meeting ever.
yes.
Jeff?
Excuse me. Oh, that's weighing in.
No, I was waving goodbye.
Oh, I thought you had something
Oh.
really crucial to say. Okay.
Awesome.
I actually clocked it under an hour, just to be clear.
It is under an hour. All
All
right,
right.
sweet.
Well, thanks, everybody. Have a great
Take
evening.
care.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
all.
Thank
Good
you for
night.
attending.
Good night.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Good night.